of America, I'm Steve Gruber, your soldier of truth, your tip of the spear. Ready to fight for you from the foxhole of freedom, asking the questions you wish you could, nobody else will. Giving you better analysis and developing this great nation every day. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Thank you for being here. Here are three big things you need to know to start the day. Number one, the damage to the human heart by the ill-advised COVID-19 injections is now being brought out. In fact, some studies show a massive increase in the rate of myocarditis. We'll dig deeper. Number two, we are not alone. That was the testimony of UFO whistleblowers on Capitol Hill yesterday. And let me tell you, these are serious people with serious credentials talking about actual aliens that have been recovered. Number three, what was supposed to be a consummation of a sweetheart deal for Hunter Biden to get away with not paying taxes on millions of dollars in illicit income and deep-sixing a felony gun charge too turned into a potential nightmare for Hunter, and more importantly, for the sitting president of the United States, Joe Biden, and his entire family. It's being shown now with more and more evidence to have profited greatly by selling the family name to the highest bidder and selling you and me in America down the road. David Weiss, the U.S. Attorney for Delaware, who's going under much scrutiny after announcing that after 5 years of investigation, alleged investigation, of Hunter Biden, that the best he could do was a couple of misdemeanors for tax evasion on more than $2.2 million in unpaid money. That's $2.2 million that he did not pay. The income was millions of dollars. Then a diversion program for a 10-year felony for lying on the FBI firearm background check, which, by the way, the Brady gun safety bill was pushed through in 1993 and shepherded through by who? Joe Biden. That's correct. But Hunter, he said he didn't use the illegal drugs, bought the gun during that time anyway when he was addicted to crack, hookers, and apparently underage girls, too. That, according to evidence that has been found on his infamous laptop and written in his memoir. But a funny thing happened on the way to the court in that sweetheart plea deal. Justice showed up and shot the whole thing down. U.S. District Judge Mary Ellen Noriega started asking questions of both the prosecutors and the defense lawyers. And that's when the biggest cherry on top ever came tumbling out. You see, the judge asked the prosecutors if more charges were possible in the case, and they said yes. Then she asked if the investigation was still going on, and again, David Weiss and company said yes. To which the defense attorneys, including the Sugar Brother lawyer for Hunter, Chris Clark, you know, that's the guy that was out on his balcony doing bong hits a couple of days ago in Los Angeles. You remember that picture, right? He chimed in and said he didn't agree with that. So one of the other lead prosecutors said there was no deal on the table, and Clark called the matter null and void. Now think about this. It seems when they walked into court, Hunter Biden and his team actually thought, not only are we getting the deal of the century and something not available to the general public for felony tax evasion and felony gun possession and lying to the FBI on our background check, but we're going to walk out of here with blanket immunity, too. Wow. They thought they had blanket immunity going forward. Well, what they got was a cold shot of reality because the judge said that, well, that's not going to happen. Then she tipped her cards even more. She asked Hunter if he knew he had evaded paying millions of dollars in taxes. You know what his answer was? Yes. Then asked the prosecution if Hunter violated FARA laws, if that was on the table. And they said yes. FARA laws require somebody working for a foreign company to register as a foreign agent. If you're making money or working in a capacity to represent a foreign company or a foreign entity, you have to register as a foreign agent, which Hunter never did. That should bring Paul Manafort to mind. That's how they got Paul Manafort and jammed him up because he was friends with Donald Trump. He got charged with felonies. He got sent to jail. But we know now through the whistleblowers from the IRS that Hunter Biden earned at least $17.3 million from such endeavors outside the country, never registered. And those whistleblowers may have weighed heavily on this case and on the judge as well. May have weighed in. Over on NBC, Chuck Dodd, having a bit of a meltdown, this little Chuck, he had to admit this whole mess in Hunter Biden's case may have opened a whole family to a lot more scrutiny. That Biden family really sweating bullets today, as they should. Listen.
Meanwhile, it's worth pointing out that the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this case, David Weiss, is facing elevated scrutiny of his own. due to the handling of this investigation after House Republicans heard public testimony from a pair of IRS whistleblowers alleging political interference in this investigation. That testimony came after the original plea deal was announced, which today dramatically fell apart. And it is worth noting that the House Ways and Means Committee, led by Jason Smith, the Republican of Missouri, did give additional information to the judge in Delaware before today's proceeding.
What this is, notice has been served on anyone and everyone working in Hunter and Joe Biden's orbit. If you're involved in any way in these foreign endeavors, money laundering, extortion, getting paid off, selling access to American policymakers, to everyone involved, you are on notice today. It's remarkable. But justice showed up on the way to that sweetheart plea deal. And even the network news hacks finally being forced to admit that the entire Biden clan is dirty is something to behold. It's about to get considerably worse, I believe. You see, Devin Archer has dodged testifying to a closed session of Congress for a long time now, rescheduling, coming up with conflicts. But he's on the calendar for Monday, and I believe with the revelations in Delaware, I highly doubt he will skip this get-together. And according to the New York Post that broke the story and others, the 48-year-old Archer, one of Hunter's oldest friends and one of his business partners in numerous of these endeavors, will testify under oath that not only was Joe Biden fully aware of Hunter's nefarious business deals, but that he was an active participant on numerous occasions. Archer is going to testify that on at least 24 occasions, Hunter brought his dad into the conversation either in person or on speakerphone to deal with companies like Ukraine's Burisma and China's CEFC. Both energy companies paid the Bidens millions of dollars, which is weird considering Hunter Biden, that is, knew nothing about energy. And yet, the Democrats so far are not willing to admit what is painfully obvious. The Bidens are damn well guilty. And by sunset, end of business Monday, another shoe will have dropped. I truly believe that. Adam Schiff, by the way, who led the dishonest impeachment of Donald Trump, now saying that Republicans just want to impeach anyone, no matter whether there's evidence or not. Is he the most dishonest member of Congress? Well, you listen and tell me.
I think the Republican desire to impeach someone, anyone, no matter whether there's any evidence, just shows how they have descended into chaos.
Yeah, Adam Schiff gets my vote as the most dishonest member of Congress, but there are many to choose from. And the guy that was railroaded completely by bogus Russian collusion narratives and a completely bogus Ukraine narrative, well, he's going to weigh in after the break because he has something to say about all of this. We're going to have something to say about all of this. But it was kind of fun for once, wasn't it? Tell me, it was kind of fun. I was glued watching the live coverage. I'm like, what? I went into an appointment, knowing that Hunter was going in, thought it was going to be a 30-minute deal. Came out, kick on the news radio. Boom. It's all over the place. Oh, it felt good. I'll take a break and be back. Don't go anywhere.